Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We are here. We're live. We're back. Thank you for coming to another 5 à 7.
Oui, c'est le 5 à 7. Le 5 et 2 à 7. What's up?
French.
French, oui, bonjour, pour nos amis bilingues. Yeah.
I'm the Divine Danny D.
I am Elle Diabloe.
And this is Stir Crazy. Our third 5 à 7.
It is our third 5 à 7. It is a special Passover, but really not kosher for Passover edition of Stir Crazy. I am a very bad Hebrew. But yeah.
I'm even worse.
He's the worst Hebrew.
So I have no...
Judaism that happens
no
down there.
Judaism at all.
I don't understand.
Well, it's not a Judaism then.
But yeah, we will tell you how to kind of mess around with this recipe. So if you do have matzah meal and you're being good about Passover, unlike me, sorry ma, yeah, it shouldn't matter. We can all celebrate together in whatever heathen manner we choose to do so.
Exactly.
Yes.
And if you're not celebrating Passover, you're still welcome.
100%. You're arguably more welcome because the recipe will be right, not breaking any religious rules. I'm lost.
You don't have any idea, do you?
I have all of the ideas. Just not about how to be a good Jew and respect Passover.
Exactly. So once again, if you've never been here before, you haven't seen one of this, this is our little fun project to get through the quarantine.
The strange days.
Yes, that we're all living in right now. Every episode, we want to bring you a nice little cocktail. Every episode, we want to bring you a nice little snack so that we can share this 5 à 7 together. If you're not familiar with 5 à 7, it's basically happy hour. So, nosh and a drink, everybody's happy.
Nosh and a
Nosh and a
drink.
drink. And again, that's like, I'm a better Hebrew. So.
You are one Hebrew point for you. That's how we'll be keeping track of. We'll be keeping track of tonight's episode with Hebrew and Hebrew points. Yeah.
This week's episode, as voted by last week's group, is themed Quarantine Concoctions.
Yes.
These are meant to be things that you can make by some of the most basic things you can find around the house. That also explains why we are in our concoction costumes.
Yes, it was the mad scientist. We had lab coats because
exactly.
Who doesn't?
And I'm a cool scientist.
Oh, you're cool.
Yeah, I'm like
Miami Vice scientist.
I'm like Val Kilmer in Real Genius.
Deep dive.
Deep dive, man. Deep dive.
Already. So yeah, we're gonna make you a cocktail. We're gonna make a really, it's my easiest marinara, red sauce, whatever you want to call it.
But delicious.
But it's super delicious. It's super easy. And we're gonna make some arancini with some leftover rice. So
one of the most common things people have.
One of the things that sold out first.
Sold
Toilet
out.
paper, flour, and rice.
Well, rice is the most common dish served around the world. Also, it's kind of great. There's a lot of times when you make rice and you have a bunch left over, or you've ordered some Chinese takeout and you have some rice left over, some fried rice left over. All of this is great with that because sometimes it's just the next day rice seems like it's not a lot of fun. We're going to show you can make it absolutely amazing.
Or if you don't want to make fried rice with your leftover rice.
Exactly.
Spin it Italian instead of spinning it Asiatique.
Exactly. Before we do that, let's check in with everybody here, see who we got. Who we got? So we're just going to switch over, ladies and gentlemen, while we're here. First, the chat cam. Hi, everybody. We're now in the chat cam. Who we got? Oh, Yannick DeHay is here. Hi. And Angela. Hi. How are you?
That's because they're living together.
They are.
Oui.
Wow.
Felicitations.
You've heard it here. It's a scoop. We've got a few other people here. Nobody's saying hi yet. Please say hi. If you have questions or anything through this, feel free to ask them. This is the place to do it.
It is indeed.
Also, this week, not only do we always have our fun with the chat cam, we also have our fly cam.
The fly cam, otherwise known as the cleavage cam.
There's less cleavage this week. Oh, that's better.
There we go.
Okay,
Oh.
Ooh. There we go.
Ooh, you can tell I'm nervous. I always get all rouge.
So we have that. Also this week, ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest,
We do have a
a
guest.
gourmet chef, cooking something absolutely incredible that will blow, I think, your pants off of your pants.
People wear pants on their. That seems
Nobody's
excessive.
wearing pants.
Nobody's wearing pants. So implying that they're wearing
Wait.
2 pairs of pants is silly.
One of the benefits of the fly cam to prove right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are wearing pants.
I got pants,
We
but
have
I don't have
pants.
pants on pants.
We don't have pants on
That
pants on
seems
pants.
like a waste.
Pants on pants on pants. Well, let's head back to the main camera, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
We'll see you over there.
Hold on, I still want to say hi. Hi, Baron Von Stick and Joseph Belanger.
Oh, hi.
Happy belated birthday, or public belated birthday to Joseph
Happy
Belanger.
birthday, Joe.
Yeah.
So
You want to make a cocktail?
we're going to make a cocktail. Let's start this show the way we always like to start, by
Drunk.
getting drunk. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll bring my stuff over
I
here.
will get out of your way.
This week, ladies and gentlemen, a very simple drink. We sort of kept the drinks a little more simple. As we said before many times, neither of us are chefs. And we should also reiterate, neither of us are bartenders.
No, we just really like
to
alcohol.
eat, and we're massive alcoholics. So we're going to show you a simple drink. There's a few of the basic drinks. We're going to start with making a smash this week. A smash is an amazing cocktail where you generally take a little sugar and something else and you smush it all together to give some kind of other flavor.
Is that the professional?
The smush, yeah. We're going to smush.
Okay.
Not smush. That's
Oh,
different.
smush.
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 You smush a smash.
You smush.
You smush a
smush. Smash. Yes.
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 So this week, our delicious cocktail is called the Gin Basil Smash, or the Basil. Let's call the whole thing off.
Let's make the
Okay, cool. So there's a few things you're going to need for this cocktail. 1, gin. You're going to need some kind of gin if you're making a gin smash. If you want to make some kind of other smash, a whiskey smash is a thing, a vodka smash theoretically is a thing, then you'll need that. This is gin.
Might I for a moment?
Please.
Really though, because we do taste all our cocktails before we make them
Quite
for
a
you. I'm pretty convinced that any other than whiskey, any sort of clear alcohol would probably. I'm not sure about tequila because, as we know, I don't drink tequila. But you could for sure do this with vodka. You might even be able to. It might be tasty with rum.
Rum smash is very much a
rum smash.
A
thing.
smash is a basic, like when you sort of like when you
I'm
look
just
at.
thinking of the flavor of the alcohol with the flavor of the basil or basil.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Not everything smashes well, but again, every basic spirit has kind of its version of a smash.
Yes.
So generally the smash is kind of the process, but
Know what you should be
the-
smashing with.
yeah, the drink is the spirit is whatever you want. So with that, again, we have gin. With it, we're going to have a little lemon juice. This is fresh lemon juice squeezed, put into a bottle. Simple syrup. Simple syrup
It's the dumbest of the syrups.
Yeah, it's very easy to make, though. If you don't have simple syrup, you can theoretically buy it. You can use a variety of other things. I like the simple syrup, though. It's simple, so easy to make. Just basically, you're taking equal parts sugar and water, heating it up in a pot until the sugar dissolves. Let it cool and pour it into some kind of bottle that you can use later. And there you have the simple syrup. Also, of course, with this, we are going to need some basil. Here is my poor, sad basil plant.
You know what? This is actually truth moment. I should go to the confession cam, but this is the healthiest and longest we've managed to keep a basil plant or basil plant. Now I feel like
Basil the basil plant.
Yes, we call him basil.
I call him brush.
But yeah, so you know. But anyway, so yeah, it's a little sad, but we're kind of proud of it at the same time.
And again, this week, as I say, everything is sort of based around things you can have in your pantry at all times. And because almost every grocery store sells basil in plant form, around Quebec, you'll find Monsieur Basil.
Is it Monsieur Basil?
Monsieur Basil, which I love because he's already got a name. Take that, just keep watering it every couple of days. You're going to have so much basil. So if you're making pestos or tomato sauces or smashes, or you just want some to season another dish, it's so good to have, and it
smells so. It's
so
really
good.
one of my favorite smells, I think, in the whole wide world.
So good. So let me make this.
And salut Joanne Diabloe, nice to see you. J'espère que tu vas bien.
Well, why don't you go talk to the people over there,
I
and I will go through here.
Well, there's only one hi, so I'm just.
Yeah, but
watching.
you can still you can talk to people in the chat.
I could, but I'm watching. They're
Oh,
watching
you're
me
watching
make a
it.
cocktail.
Okay.
We don't want to confuse the issue.
Don't want to confuse the issue. So with this, we're going to make a smash. Now, in order to make a smash, the key process is the smashing. I'm sorry, I'm going to get a utensil out of here.
Danny smash.
Now, generally with the smash, you're going to do a process which is called muddling. If you have a muddler, which is basically a large, wide dowel or something, that's great. I don't have one. So I'm using this wooden spoon. It's not super thick, but it's got a wide spot here. So that way when I'm smashing things, it keeps together. So,
Also, as soon as we're out of quarantine, there are certain kitchen. I'm starting to look at some of our stuff with a more critical eye. I'm like, yeah, that probably has seen better days. That muddler.
All right, that's cool. So we're going to take a bunch of basil here. I've got probably about 10, 15 leaves, and we're just going to, I like to sort of give it just rip it up a little bit, and we're going to stick it into our glass. Into that, we are going to put, because I'm making two, generally a half an ounce per glass. Yes, half an ounce per glass of simple syrup. So because I'm making two, we're going to put a full ounce in, just right to the top. That's going to go in there. So once I have that in there, the next step is just to sort of mush that up. Get that really,
release your angst.
Yeah, it's going to fly around, but you really want to try, especially with an herb like this, you want to get as much of the green. It's going to look kind of slimy in there. It's going to look kind of, but that's what you want. That is it, releasing all that. And as you're smashing
You
it,
can smell it.
you can smell.
It's delicious.
So basically, we are smashing basil leaves in this simple syrup.
It's very similar to making a mojito. If you've ever made a mojito,
The difference between this and a mojito is that a mojito, generally, you're going to leave that. In ours, we're going to strain this all out so you have a clean, simple drink, but we're using this for lots of flavor.
I just kind of meant leaf plus sugar syrup equals
Yeah,
beverage.
yeah, for sure. But like I say, part of the benefit, the fun of the mojito is having all of that together. And a mojito is kind of that rum smash.
Do you find that fun? Because I think the mojito
I don't like
it
mojito.
looks so pretty in a glass, and then
Gorgeous.
90% of the time it's like you're
Yeah,
drinking a garden, and it gets a little bit whatever that thing is called.
All right. So I've got this smash. You want to grab me the fly cam?
I can grab the fly cam.
Grab the fly cam.
Fly
And you
cam.
want to switch over to the fly cam
I can
there?
do that too. Nikki,
Yeah, there we go. So here we are. You can sort of see in here. I've got that. It's kind of like a pesto. It's liquid in there, and that's kind of all mushed together. You can see how it's also, if you take a look, it's turned the simple syrup a little green, and that's what you want. Switch me back to the main camera, please. So there we have that. Oh.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, sorry, there we are. Yes, I'm looking at the wrong place. So now that we have that done, it is time to start making our drink. So because again, once again, we have half an ounce of sugar syrup per cocktail. So in here I have a full and about 8 to 10 leaves of basil per cocktail. To this, we are going to add 1 3/4 ounces, in this case twice, of gin, and we are going to add 1.5 ounces of lemon juice, or in this case 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice per drink.
I also like to think that a lot of our audience might just be drinking a larger beverage, like a large mason jar size.
You can just shake that on its own.
You know,
But this, so once I have that all done, I'm just going to put this, I'm going to add some ice in here. And then here we have, yeah, I got it. We have that. I'm just going to put 2 into our drink glasses.
fancy.
There we go.
Yeah, we don't bother so much with the garnish.
There we
these
are.
days, but-
So
Ice cube is not a garnish.
once we have that, you can see we have this all in here. And I like to stir. Again, you look at a lot of stirring versus shaking. They're both do essentially the same process, get the elements all together. The shaking will break up ice more, so you'll get a more diluted or a little more watery version. Not that, and for some cocktails, that's great. For something with a lot of alcohol in it, that's great. This has got a lot of juice and some sugar with some alcohol. Theoretically, it would work either way. I prefer a stirred drink versus a shaken drink. So we have that done.
The anti-bond?
I'm the anti-bond. There we go. So we have that done. That is our drink. And now we're going to double strain that because we have lemon juice in here and we have, of course, the leaves. So we really want to strain to make sure none of that gets into the glass. So we're just going to pour one out
Because if you're me,
here.
it'll get into your teeth and it'll just
And
be
we are on camera right now.
disaster. De proportion épique.
There we go. So there we have that. There we have that. And we can, if you want.
I just said I don't want to get on my teeth.
If you want to garnish a nice little sprig of basil on the side, and you can see what is gorgeous about this is the color.
Is its nuclear glow.
It's that sort of that sort of chartreusey color. I will give you the lovely one if you want there. You can save that for your.
I'm going to save it for my sauce.
Save it for your sauce later. I'll take this one here, ladies and gentlemen. The basil gin smash, the gin basil smash.
Smash!
We'll try them. You were drinking
And then
problems?
she died. It's delish.
Yeah. So
Anybody else?
it's sweet. It's a little tart from the lemon. It's got that really a floral note from the gin.
It tastes good.
It's beautiful. It's that gorgeous spring drink if you want something fresh and light,
It's quite tasty.
and it's going to prevent your scurvy.
Well, that's we seem to make cocktails that are anti scurvy cocktails. A lot of heavy on the citrus.
Yeah.
I'm a sour puss.
I'm
You
gonna put
know,
this out
I'm a
of the
bit
way
of
for
a.
now. So that is, there we are, the
There you
gin basil smash. Very simple to make, really easy. Again, if you like the smash, and they're fun because you can bring these herbs in, these fresh herbs, and play around with them. There's a lot of different things you can do with them. Don't be afraid of getting into some of the savories as well with some of these things because they can be some really interesting mixes.
Mm-hmm.
But I particularly like this one. It's a beautiful drink. It looks gorgeous because of that color.
It's like the call time.
Yeah. Yeah, but because we get 2 hours to fill,
It's true,
I will
so-
repeat myself. I reserve the right to repeat. There we have that.
It's a beautiful color.
I've never even thought of that. Beautiful color. And a great thing to share with somebody, if you're with somebody, is also just as amazing alone.
More for you.
So I'll get this out of the way so that you
Wow.
can start making the sauce.
Oh yes.
All right.
Most groovy. Yes, and I have the chopping board. I need that.
Mhm.
And
So what are we doing for our appetizer
We're
today?
going to talk about that in one quick second. I'm just getting myself organized. Maybe go over there and chat with the peeps. for a
Hey,
second.
well, ladies and gentlemen, come with me over here. Let's join me on the chat cam. Let's see what's happening. Hi, everybody. I'm glad you're back. What do we have here? Oh, we've had a few people say some things. Joseph has added the words Dan Smash. And that's a thing that happens.
That's a good contribution.
And technically it is wrong. It's very rarely does Dan smash, but often Dan is smashed. Anything else we have here? While we are going through some of these things, I want to just sort of. We have this week. Oh, there we are. That's right. One. This week, we like last week, we had some questions that we wanted just to create some general buzz.
We are creating so much general buzz.
That we wanted to have a couple of questions for you guys to sort of set into the chat. So here, ladies and gentlemen, while we're getting these started, I'm going to put up our first question for the day because again, this is our quarantine concoctions.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking all about the quarantine, the stay at home, whatever. People have had a million different names for it.
I call it shit.
Exactly.
No.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to our first question here. Our first question, simply put, what is the thing that you are missing most during the quarantine?
Oh, I didn't realize I actually had to have an answer.
What?
I thought I was supposed to be one of the people who came up with the question.
Well, that's why I asked the question. So.
You know what? Without getting like super heavy, because that's okay. If you're feeling super heavy, that's all right too.
That's going to make a problem. Right now. I
Yeah,
feel
I'm
very
also
super
feeling
heavy.
mega heavy these days, but you know it's fine. Maybe we come out of this being a little bit gentler with ourselves and with a different beauty standard. Having said that, I miss. In the most general sense, being able to move about without anxiety. Like little things that I took for granted 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago.
Just like Abraham Lincoln said.
Yes. You know, like going to the grocery store and not having a meltdown internally if somebody like reached past me to grab something because I was like,
I think that's a little bit where you and I differ because I generally have those meltdowns anyway.
Okay, well, yeah, but you know, I'm a personal space person for sure, but I find it odd. Or like when you're walking down the street, you and I have gone out for a couple of walks, and as people are approaching, you're like, "Are you going to move or am I going to move? Is anyone going to move? Do you care? Are you sick?" Blah, blah. And it's just this like tick, 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 tick in the brain. So I just kind of miss my sanity.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving about without anxiety, I think is my biggest one. You?
I think probably I miss performing. I mean, we are both, for those of us, we didn't even start that at the beginning. If you don't know who we are both
Then what are you
live
doing?
stage performers. We are both in the burlesque community as hosts and producers and as comedians, and you're also a dancer. And so I miss that the most. I love a live audience, and that's sort of one of the benefits of why we're doing it this way. I also miss just watching a lot of television.
You miss that?
I miss that. Yeah. I mean,
since
yeah, wow.
2 hours ago?
Yeah, it's terrible. What are we doing? So that's it. What do you guys miss?
What do you guys miss? Let's go back over there and check out what some people are
well,
saying.
Why don't you start that?
Right,
We'll get back to the second.
Yes.
So.
You know what? Let's time this properly.
I'll get out of your way so you can do that.
No. You're good. I know where you're going. All right.
I'll go red them.
First steps, first things first, we are going to make a marinara or red sauce, tomato sauce, really, really, really basic. We've got 28-ounce can of tomatoes here. I would recommend, and I don't ever want to shame anybody about your choices of canned good, ever. But I will say that San Marzano tomatoes, while they are slightly more expensive, they are definitely worth the extra $1 some odd. Or whatever, you can get them at Costco in the big, actually you can get them in Costco, it's like 6 cans for the price of what it costs you for like a can and a half at the grocery store. So yeah, definitely worth it. Having said that, tomatoes be tomatoes be tomatoes. So you can use whatever you have, and that's kind of the whole point of this today is most people will have a large can of tomatoes at home. So to that, before I get in there and get my hands like in the tomatoes, I'm going to cut up some garlic. I got 7 cloves here. I like my stuff garlicky. Also, it's real good for your immune system and stuff. So we're just going to cut this up. I like them real nice and thin. If I wasn't afraid of cutting off my fingers live, I would use a razor, but I am terrified that I'm going to traumatize y'all. So While I am chopping these 7 cloves of garlic, super, super thin, maybe Dan can go over there and talk to you guys for a bit.
Hey everybody, we're over here at the chat cam, just checking in to see what a few people. I said that and I spit completely
Into the camera.
More
That's good that
more
no
onto the
one's actually
mouse
there.
pad here, but that's fine. So like I say, that's what we've missed. What are some of the things you miss? Yannick says he misses us.
Oh, I miss you too.
Oh, we miss you too, Yannick.
Oh, cool.
Seems pandering though. Seems like you're pandering.
Listen to him, Stador.
my mom says she is missing family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just found a whole new family, so I just brought them in. They're easy. No, I'm kidding. Sylvie Couture says she misses hugging people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are missing hugging. Hugging is probably one of the biggest things to miss. Julie Jolie is missing to see her friends. Joseph Zmula is missing long, full body hugs.
Hold on.
Long, full body. Now, is this
What's
the
a full body hug?
And is the
though?
is the hug long or is the body long?
But I'm also like, sorry, I know I have to chop garlic, but a
long, full body.
full body hug sounds like something that might get you pregnant.
That also sounds like, yeah, that's good. It's also something that sounds like, I believe that's specifically how you hug a dachshund.
Or a giraffe.
Or a giraffe. That's good. Baron von Stick, love you, Baron, misses having people around him, including at work or at the cinema or at the restaurant, even if I hate people. Go figure. That's why I love you, man, because we both hate everybody. I don't hate anybody. Misty Portugal misses people. That's where you and I differ. Giselle Chacon misses. She missed hug people, and I really miss not being at home. And Morgan Graham. I am speaking moistly. Speaking moistly. That is for the kid.
That was really the best moment, I think. So
you're not on camera.
I know, but I'm over here.
And Mike Kitt misses the wiggle room.
Aww,
We all miss the wiggle room. Let's go back and see what's going on at the Shauna Camp.
Hiya. Still chopping garlic.
So, how are you? How thin do you like to have the garlic?
I like it, like I said, if I really wasn't concerned, first of all, about judgment, which is hopefully like something I'll get over when I emerge from quarantine. But if I wasn't worried about the judgment of potentially cutting my fingers off live and traumatizing our lovely audience, because I would never want to do that. I would be using a razor. It should be nice and thin, like super thin. Like,
yeah.
You want it
If
almost
you
like...
look at that scene in Goodfellas,
Yeah,
where he's cutting the garlic with the razor, that's...
You want it wafer thin.
Wafer?
You want it wafer thin.
I feel like I'm right on top of you here, and I probably shouldn't.
It's okay. That's fine. You don't want me to
cut yourself.
You know what? If you say that and it happens, you're going to feel so bad, and we're going to have an audience of
Can I get you
people.
a pan?
You can get me a pan,
All
man.
right, I'll get you a pan.
Don't go like that, pan. I know anybody who's watching who's professional chef is going, your fingers. I'm okay. Also, I need to do this because I am woman, and you're going to hear me roar for a second. I cut off my nails. I cut them off because it was getting too long and like too ratchet. But let me just explain to you that for the last 2 days, I don't know how to do anything anymore. It's like life in reverse from when I first got them on. Like I don't know how to type anymore. But the bonus is I can cut in a more safe manner. Not that I just did it, but in principle, this is the upside of having taken my nails off.
I'm going to go to the fly cam for a second, just so people can see how thin we're getting this garlic here.
It's about that thin.
There we are.
Look, it's like a garlic butterfly.
Yeah, trying to focus, and you're moving it all the time.
Butterfly in the
So we have the garlic. Okay, so here. You can see how we have that there. It's very thin garlic. And that's
very much what you want.
That's so cool. Up close and personal garlic. All right. So garlic is done. Most groovy. We're gonna do two things. First, before we get that down, and this is one of my favorite portions of
Ooh, the smooshing.
the smooshing.
Speaking
I
of
am
smash,
just yes. We're gonna see. We're smashing. We're smooshing.
I'll put my drink in somewhere. Talking to people.
I'm gonna probably whenever you.
Oh, there it is.
Yes. So for the first of what will no doubt be many hand washes in the next few minutes. Get it in there, get all surgical about the whole thing. Because, my dear friends, my favorite part has arrived. You're going to empty your tomatoes into a bowl. Giddy up. You are going to take 1 cup of water. Here we go. Probably should have poured that out before. Sorry, I'm learning about mise en place. I kind of always assume that I can do shit on the fly. Put that water in there. I left this on top for a reason, so I don't sploosh myself in the face. And we're going to give that a little bit of a shaker up. Shake it up. Ooh, ooh. Right? So we're taking all of the leftover tomato yumminess off the side of the can. You know, roll up your sleeves. I am going to take off my rings.
Uh-oh, rings are coming up.
Get in there with your fingers. And again, like the muddling and the smooshing and the smashing, this is so good for stress relief. Pulverize those tomatoes with your fingers.
Hi, Dan here. I don't know if you've ever watched a woman smush tomatoes with her fingers before. That doesn't do it for you. Nothing will. In fact, let's see what that does.
I don't know, is this some kind of like...
Oh, I hit the wrong
you
button.
hit the
Oh,
buttons.
whoop,
You've lost the camera.
Bear with.
I must keep to do this.
There we go.
There
We
we
figured
go.
it out. We're back.
All
We're
right,
back.
We're back.
We're
We're
back.
back. It's a little bit creepy, but maybe it's like relaxing and satisfying.
It's one of those things. I
Smoosh
think smushing is very relaxing.
It is extremely relaxing. Smoosh, smoosh. Now, I look like I've committed murder. Hold on. So, rinse
You're going
those
in,
hands.
rinse those out. I'm going to move the camera
All right,
back.
so we've got our reserved tomato water. We have got our can of smooshed up tomatoes. We have 7 thinly.
We're gonna get that garlic up for you.
Get that garlic. Sorry. Many things are happening. I am going to put the rings back on so that they don't get lost. And we're going to move this. We're going to move this for the moment. And we're going to get this going over here. Beautiful. Thank you very much.
No problem. Right. Induction burner is there. We're gonna put this on there.
So we're going to get this going.
But what? How hot do you need this?
I don't know. I never really...
No, but like if you're on the stove, you
If
put
I was on the stove, I'd probably put this at about medium.
medium.
Just to heat the pan before we stick the olive oil in. Okay? Yeah, medium.
I
Medium
want to see
low.
what this goes up to. Okay,
At
so
least you
yeah,
can.
we're gonna go.
It's
I
not
wasn't
It's
sure.
not the Spinal Tap induction burner.
So we're gonna go to. We're
I'm
talking
gonna
about
go,
6.
you know, I'm going to go to 5, to be honest, just because as a general rule, we don't want to burn our garlic. You know, certain things you can get away with burning a little bit, charring, but the garlic, ce n'est pas un de ces choses-là at all. For those of you who are, lingual English, garlic is not one of those things. You don't want it to burn because it goes bitter and it ruins everything, and it doesn't take very long to do that. So I just want to get this heated up a little tiny bit. Maybe some 30 more seconds or so. Are you enjoying your cocktails? Everybody groovy.
Just going to main can. Oh, we're cutting away. Hey, yes.
Oh, hi.
There we are. Yeah. This is nice. I think this thing heats up pretty fast too. We're on the induction burner here.
It's actually the induction cooktop expert, if you will. I'm not going to name it by actual brand name.
Yeah,
We
well,
don't want to get in trouble.
It might give us one. You never know.
But one never knows.
You never know.
One never knows. So yeah, don't put your arm down. See, now I'm convinced that I've got an hour and 25 minutes in which I'm definitely going to hurt myself at some stage. We get the oil going in there.
Oh, let me just
Oh, that's even a little hot, to be honest. We don't want that.
not
Do this. Hold on. I'm just going to pull it up a little bit. Because
you can't.
I know, I understand that. But this is new. Our new little toy. No, I understand. Just let me do me. You're doing the camera. I'm doing this. I'm going to get this in here. Check comme ça. Can you? All right. Yes, there's garlic in the oil.
Yeah.
You keep filming that. I'm going to come over here. Fill myself a little wooden spoon.
Right.
No problem. I'm going to get that going a little bit. I'm going to turn the heat up just a tiny bit. I would always prefer that things take 5 extra seconds to cook or an extra minute to cook than to have to throw out the baby with the bathwater, if you will. Right? So,
What are you looking for in the garlic?
a little bit of color. We don't want it to like sizzle too much. We want it to, I find it's like avocados, meaning like, you know how avocados aren't ripe, they aren't ripe, and then they're overripe? You want this to get a little bit browny golden, but without, well, paying attention for it not to get too golden. A little bit of color.
Well, come back over here with me, and we're just gonna do
Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Guys and gals, and everybody in between. Sorry. Dudes and dudettes, and dudesses. Do-die.
Duderinas.
Duderinas. So what I will ask you to do, Daniel,
Yes.
if you could, is make sure that on the stove I have room to transfer
That's
this.
what I
because we're
just
gonna-
did.
Beautiful. Look at us on the same page. So I don't know if you can hear, probably not, because there's a lot of kind of white noise back here with the induction thing going and everything else. But there's a nice little sizzle on that. I'm paying attention to it. It likes it when you pay attention to it.
Just like Cocker Spaniels and Spaniards.
I don't know.
I don't know.
In the sense of Spaniards might take offense to that.
And some Cocker Spaniels.
And yes, I'm less worried about their ability to post hate speech on the internet. All right, so this has been going for what? About 2 minutes? A minute? Some minutes?
Probably, it's probably gone about a minute.
A minute. So I'm going to let this go for another minute while, again, paying attention to it. If you happen to be cooking on an induction burner, I'm at 4. 5 was like a little bit too hot. The one thing I love about this new little toy is c'est pas mal précis. Look, it's really precise. It responds really well.
Yeah,
That
very
makes any
fast.
sense? Yeah, it heats up super fast. So we got that beautiful garlic in there. Ça sent bon. It smells lovely. And, by the way, I do that almost ironically now because nothing annoys me more than my own nasal. And we got this. We're going to take
Got a little bit of color going on there.
Oh, yeah, there's a little bit of color going. Again, I would rather a little bit less than a little bit more.
Let me just show this. I don't want people, because one of the things I say when we talk about, hang on a second, when we talk about color on something. Hi. Ooh, what's going on here? Oh, I didn't need to turn the camera around. Let's turn that
Are
back.
you shooting up your nose?
Yeah. One of the things that when we talk about color on something, I don't want people to get too confused here. It's not, we're not looking at something that is black or brown. It's very
Orange or purple.
It's, but it's in the same token, when we say color, it's just, you can start to see it becoming a little more
It's becoming a little
translucent.
bit.
There's a little bit of browning on the edges
But again, we don't want to burn.
Releasing
We
the
really don't want to
juices.
burn that.
of the garlic.
And just to make sure that we don't burn that, I am going to this little mixture, add my tomatoes. Comme ça. Like. I'm going to scoop all of that. Do not waste.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. Please for waist stirring cups. We're get that going. We'll give that a little bit of a stir here. We're going to take the water that we've reserved and pour that in as well. Okay. Okay. Could add a tiny bit of salt. Could you pass me the salt, please?
Salt. How is, I just got a message, how is audio for everybody this week? We've been fighting this audio a little bit. Somebody sent me a thing, and I, of course, can't watch a video of what I'm watching right now while I'm doing it. So let me know. Let us know a little bit how the audio is. If you're still having problems hearing, we're trying to figure this out. There may be a microphone purchase in the future in order to make this work better.
There might be, but also we've heard from other people. I'm not sure that I'm done with that yet. I find it very fun. Who knows? If you're watching me at home, I might have just done like 17 times salt and didn't even notice because I'm listening to you. And
Misty says the sound is really good. That's good.
Sometimes it just depends on your device. Sometimes we were told a couple weeks ago the phone was better than the computer. Who knows?
The other thing, and Joseph says the audio is fine as well. Misty asks, remind her really quick how to make the cocktail.
Sure.
And what are we doing with this, first of all, before we...
All right, so what we want to get this to do is we want to get this simmering. Tick-tock. I don't know why I'm making weird noises tonight. We would like to grab, and I'm trying to be, yep. I'm going to grab a little sprig of this puppy over here.
That's the basil.
That's basil.
Okay. Basil the basil. Crush.
As soon as this gets going a little bit more, we could maybe fly cam this in a minute or two, in a minute. Let it do its thing. You guys want to make sure that that oil is incorporated and it's not just sitting right on top. Try to, obviously it's not going to incorporate 100%, but you want to get that nice and stirred. You want to make sure that all your garlic isn't sitting on the bottom.
Yeah. So again, for ingredients in this, it's simple. It's garlic.
A quarter cup of olive oil.
Yeah.
A can of tomatoes. A cup of water. Some salt. As soon as this starts to simmer, I'm going to throw this whole on top and let it cook down and literally just get kind of like sucked into the sauce. If you don't have fresh basil, that's all right. You can use dried basil. You can use a little oregano or oregano, depending on.
I don't trust anybody who uses oregano.
Well, some people don't trust people who use basil, so it's fine. Also, if you want, and I'm going to maybe send you to the pantry for this, a tiny, or not tiny, à votre goût, to your taste, a pinch of red chili flakes. I always throw a few in. I find it just kind of gives it a little bit of a kick. Thank you very much. So,
these are, again,
you hold this for a moment, please.
Yeah, these are all very common things to have, we feel, in a pantry. If you don't have it, that's good. We'll put this one in there too.
Yeah, throw them all on top.
Just a quick. I wanted to, while you do that, just a quick recap for Misty about the gin basil smash.
Make another one, I think.
Well, yeah, but we're.
I'm gonna move this.
Again, for that you're going to muddle together half an ounce of simple syrup with 8 to 10 basil leaves. Get it to a nice sort of gooey, mushy consistency. To that, you're going to add 1 ounce and 3/4 of gin. You're going to add 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. Give that a stir with some ice, and then double strain it into your glass. So, while that transfers, hopefully that answers your question. Let's go to the fly cam and see what this looks like. Sorry. Flip it around. There we are.
Hold on, we got a little extra light here.
There we are.
So I have to bring it back up to a simmer because I transferred it from one hot surface to a not hot surface. And that's going to do its thing. I'm going to leave that for about 20, 25 minutes.
So we're at 5:45.
It probably doesn't even have to sit, like 15 minutes minimum. Go for, probably 5. And then we taste it.
Okay.
I still am trying to get it up higher though in the heat before I turn it back down and let it simmer.
Okay.
Okay.
So why don't you get out of that, and we'll head back.
Let me just give the counter a quick little swipe down.
All right,
here.
everybody, we're back. Good. So we have our marinara simmering. We have our oh, that's mine. That's my drink.
Yeah.
Our gin and basil smashing.
Yeah.
Um,
You're smashing.
You're smashing. While that is happening, I think it's we should. If you want to talk to them a little bit, I just want to set up a couple things over here.
Oh, that's fun. I was just going to make sure that was
simmer a little bit.
happening. So hi. How's everybody doing? Chag Sameach to my Passover people, my Hebrews and Shebrews, and they brews all over the world. I know we have many non-Jewish viewers, and probably tonight many more non-Jewish viewers because of Passover. But I'm proud of you all for staying home and doing weird Zoom seders and stuff like that. Also,
Zoom seders.
yeah,
Sounds filthy.
It sort of does, and yet, way to go. Way to keep moving with the times. The irony of God sending a plague for Passover is not lost on many of us. And just stay safe. So if you're of any religious faith, I know that this weekend is going to be hard for people who wanted to go to Mass for Easter, for anybody who feels like they're missing their community. But we're all doing this so that we have a community to go back to on the other end of this. So Sit tight, be groovy, reach out to your friends and family via this kind of stuff. But please stay safe because it's important and it's what Jesus would want.
Jewish Jesus.
Well, anyway.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have we're very lucky this week to have a very special guest.
Oh yes.
Gourmet chef. He's told me that he is preparing something incredibly fancy. I believe I've had from him an incredible barbecue pork. I've had amazing venison. I've had very delicate quail egg concoctions. Some stuff that I don't know if anybody is capable of really understand the intricacies, the delicacies that go into certain meal preparation. And our
I'll let you
chef
talk, and I'm just gonna...
is about to give us what he has prepared, very special for us. So, ladies and gentlemen, please
let me welcome to our show, Chef Dewey.
Hi, Chef Dewey. How are you?
I'm Chef Dewey.
How are things going? Can people hear Chef Dewey?
Yeah.
So Chef Dewey, of all of the things that you have cooked before in the past, and I've known some of the most incredible things, some of the most complex, crazy things, flavor levels and texture levels that just really change a meal. What do you have for us this week? I'm really excited.
Yes. Hi everyone, my name is Drian. You must know me from the comment section, from the comments that Shauna does not want to read. So today, we're going to do Jello pudding. Incredible dessert.
The sound's a little low here. What did you say you're making?
Jello pudding.
Cello,
oh,
like something that would go for when you're going to the opera or something like that.
It's pudding.
Pudding?
Yeah. It's stacked on for everything for the dessert. So I'm going to show you how to make pudding. First thing we need a big bowl like this. We need a mixer like this. Mm-hmm. We need a box of Jello pudding, caramel, preferably. We need a measuring cup.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt because I'm sure that this is some sort of, you've made this, is not the Jello that we're all familiar with. This is something that you have done, you've created the gelatin particles yourself?
No. This is the pudding from your childhood. This is the classic. We're in survival mode, man. We don't have the fancy stuff at home.
This is just Jello. Dan, did you just make Jello?
Yes, I'm going to show you how to make pudding.
What the hell? Go for it.
What we need to open the spout like this, and then you take the powder from the spout, put it in the big ball,
Mm-hmm.
put it out in the big ball. Then,
Mm-hmm.
with your measuring cup,
Oh.
we need about 2 cups of cold milk. So you take your jug of milk,
This milk, this is from your own cows?
and we put about 2 cups. There you go.
Nice jugs.
Yeah. So now we take the milk, put it in a bowl, put it all in a bowl. Now the tough part is, not tough, but you need to do it. So you take what's in the bowl, you take the mixer, and then you go at it for like solid 2 minutes.
Oh, I know they're there.
Don't be afraid at home
Yeah.
to like mix it and mix it hard. Like it can take it.
You mix it hard. Is there a specific technique, Chef Dewey, that you
Yeah.
would like to explain to our viewers?
Pardon me?
Is there a specific technique for the hard mixing that you would like to explain to our viewers?
Yes. It's called beating the milk and the powder in the bowl. So you go with the mixing.
Somebody else are asking.
Once again, I'll see you at home. But you go real hard on it.
Yeah.
Make sure there's no crumbs left. Mix it all.
Yeah.
A solid 2-3 minutes. This will form a caramel kind of liquid.
A caramel. And for
Once
those of
this
you
is
who
done-
might not be able to hear Chef Dewey's infinite wisdom,
Caramel,
sort of
Once it's
liquid.
done,
sort of, kind of.
Kind
take the mix.
liquid.
It's caramel-esque. Caramelish.
Can we talk about the viscosity
It's got a
of
distinct caramelosity.
The viscosity should be about not water, not milk, but still very liquid.
Yeah, good to know. Good to know.
Tastes
We're also a little liquid at this point as well.
like caramel.
Tastes like marrow.
Very good.
caramel?
I thought we might have had something there, but my mistake.
And once this is done, it's
Mhm.
very important that you put it in the fridge for
Yeah,
about 3 to 5 minutes,
3
and
to
then
5
we're gonna
minutes.
have pudding.
Well, Chef Dewey, we're going to go back to what
Hold
we're
on,
doing.
hold on. He's still
No,
excited.
he's not. You're on
Oh,
that camera.
all right.
Here. Chef Dewey, thank you so much. We're going to go back to what we're doing here and check in 3 to 5 minutes and see what your pudding is like. Chef Dewey, thank you for being on the show. We'll talk to you again in a few minutes.
Merci, Chef Dewey. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
So that was the thing that happened. I wish I had words. They escape me right now.
I don't know what's happening. That was
It was good stuff. It was, in case you don't know how to make Jello pudding, now you do,
now you do.
presumably.
Because- and if you don't, you know what? Here's the thing that I fear the most out of all of that, out of everything that we make tonight.
That'll
The
be-
Jello pudding is what's going to be made the most.
Well, that presupposes people are stockpiling Jello pudding at home.
This is fair. If you don't have Jello at home, it's very hard.
Paul Dewey.
Just because of Jello
He has many
delivery
Jellos.
service. We have the sauce is currently.
Do you want to fly cam that?
Oh, sauce. I'm gonna quickly go over here. See how I'm doing this.
Or a two-handed
We're
one.
coming. So the sauce, you can see we have a slight simmer going on in there. We're getting so good.
You guys see how the basil is, or the basil is
Wilting.
wilting into the sauce and releasing all of its delicious grooviness. That's also a culinary term, delicious.
Deliciousness. So with this,
I'm just going to rinse this. So why don't we switch so I
Okay,
can
why
use
don't we
this
switch to this?
lovely big
and
bowl?
while we do that, why don't we put up our second question?
Oh,
You sat there for a second. I'm going to put up the second question.
All right, Dan's
So,
going to put up the second
ladies
question.
and
And
gentlemen-
maybe we're going to make a second cocktail.
I think we should make sure we get the other ones done too, though.
Oh, we're gonna do that.
Okay, cool.
It's gonna take
I
5
just
minutes.
gonna get this set up. All right,
I don't know where mine
we
is.
are set. So you're still
yours?
on the what?
Is that yours? Is this mine?
This is mine right behind me here. So, ladies and gentlemen, while we have that, we asked earlier what you missed the most during quarantine. I think one of my favorite questions so far right now is this: what is the thing, surprisingly, you don't really seem to miss at all during this quarantine? You kind of went, thought that would be a bigger issue. Toilet paper.
Have you not been using it?
No. I thought we were in Southeast Asia before, so I just been dipping in the tub.
Nice.
No.
Yes, good to know. Good to know. But
What have you found lately that you don't really miss?
In my regular non-burlesque life, I spend a lot of time in my car, and to a certain degree, as much as I'm sort of sad, like last week, I actually wanted to go out for a Sunday drive, and then had like a prise de conscience of like, if you have an accident, now is really not a good time to have an accident because the hospitals are overrun and whatever. So maybe just don't do that. So on one hand, I miss driving for the hell of driving, but I do not miss spending hours and hours and hours sitting in traffic.
I think for me, the thing I don't really miss at all is finding excuses to not have to go to the gym. Now
I really miss the gym. I really, really miss. I miss my nails and
exactly.
I miss the gym.
We miss our trainer,
Hey Theo.
Theo. If you see this, we miss you. But we also don't.
I do. I really do. I really, really do, because I don't know about y'all. I did my aerobics certification.
You said y'all?
I said y'all. I can say whatever I want to say. I didn't say anything rude or insulting. I've taught dance. I had my aerobics certification, but so I know in principle how to stay in shape, and I know how to put together a workout for myself at home. But for me personally, because I'm not the most disciplined of the people, the physically needing to like make it a thing to go to the gym, to be like, oh, we have an appointment with the trainer, or oh, we said we committed to doing this thing. For whatever reason, for me, having to get in my car and go somewhere to do the thing makes it less negotiable. Versus you and I being like, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we have an appointment on our living room floor to do some sit-ups. Meh. But you know what I mean? I find it's a lot easier to not be disciplined about working out at home than it is if you're going somewhere.
So what do you guys find you're not really missing while you do that?
I'm going to rinse
you
that.
rinse that, so
Y'all answer
take a
some
look.
questions.
I'm going to see if there's anything up there. Hang on a sec while I come over. Hi there. I know that now I'm closer to the sink that's currently being rinsed, but oh well. Some stuff.
Almost done.
Sorry. Baron says his answer is actually the same. He also doesn't really miss seeing people. Mike Kitt misses being busy. Finds that he doesn't really mind not being busy. Misty Portugal says she also doesn't really miss her work commute at all, and she doesn't miss strangers who have no idea of their own sense of self. I know I'm reading comments that you're already looking at. That's possibly weird, but
or maybe people
it's
are
my
just
job.
so.
It's my job.
Maybe
It's
people
what
are
I
so
do.
taken with us that they're not reading the comments.
It's true. Mike Kidd also says he doesn't miss pants.
I don't miss pants either.
You keep looking at this one. You should be
I'm
looking
sorry,
at-
I don't miss pants either. I know I should be looking at.
No.
I
Ladies
miss
and
when
gen-
I used to understand technology, which was never. It was never a thing.
So, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have this all made, let's just cut back to the main cam.
So you want to main cam some more cocktails, Danny D?
Sure, we can
We got some
put
time.
another cocktail together. Well, why don't you take this out
I'll
of the
take
way?
this out of the way.
I will bring this back into play. And while we're doing that, I should have ripped this out. We're just going to start off with a whole new cocktail for you guys. Again, simple drink. But the first step with all of this, I'm going to make a couple different ones, so I'm doubling the recipe. But, like I said before, the first step is a ½ ounce per drink of each of simple syrup. So in this case, I'm going to go with a full ounce of simple syrup into the mixer. And then, of course, we're going to come back to our friend, the basil plant. We're going to get about, let's say, 8 to 10 leaves. He is now really looking a little bit, oh, he's got a haircut. There we are. We had those leaves, where did it go? There you are. Take those leaves, we're just going to tear them up a little bit, and we're going to dump them into our shaker as well. And with that, we are going to muddle them together. If you don't have a muddle, just some kind of wide-based spoon is always nice. It's long enough to go into your shaker. We're just going to smush them and smush them and smush them. Up and down, push them together. Like
Sounds dirty.
it's filthy. It's filthy. We're going to push this all, muddle this. I don't know. What you're trying to do is look for the leaves to start to disintegrate, release some of their juice, their moistness. Thank you, Prime Minister. Come back to it, smell it. Once you really start to smell that basil or basil scent, you really feel like, God, I can't wait. Can't wait.
For what?
If you want to get me some ice, please.
Yes, I will.
Bring the ashtray back again.
Igor. I
I can't wait. All right, so now that we have that in there,
Frankenstein and Frankenstein's
we're
monster.
going to add some ice to this machine.
Sorry, I don't know how to do anything without nails anymore.
And we're going to put ice in our glasses. There you go. So now that we have in there, we're going to add our alcohol. So we are doing a basil gin smash or basil gin smash. So we're going to put in 1 3/4 ounces of gin per drink. So in this case, of course, 3½ ounces of gin, or approximately, if you like it a little ginier, add a little more gin. To that, we are going to add 1½ ounces of lemon juice, or 3/4 ounce per cocktail in this one. So I did a little swoosh there. So 1½ ounce because I've got 2 going on. Oops. And we are just going to stir this up real good. I know I said the shaking versus stirring thing. Again, it really depends on the drink. It also depends on what you like in a drink. I am a stirrer.
You should stir more sexy.
Hey, this is sexy stirring. I hope my mother's watching. I can't sexy stirring.
Oh, yeah, stop sexy stirring.
Stop sexy stirring. All right, now that we have that stirred, we are going to take the strainer. And with this,
It's alive!
Will not stay on! With something like this that has not only herbs in it, but also pulp, we're going to double strain to make sure none of that gets into our drink.
Drink.
Put that in there like so. Get them good and set. There we go. And once again, the gin basil smash.
Look at the color on that.
Yeah, you're looking for that
Such a
perfect little
beautiful
greenish chartreuse color.
Perfect for the spring this color.
Perfect for the spring. The color. That is the drink. Hopefully that helped you, Misty. If it didn't,
I may have to make more. I'm going to get this out of your way,
I mean,
and you are going to.
I'm going to put this back over here just because, that's how I roll. And if I could just take this back. I don't really know why.
All right. This is to
Oh, I
go
know why.
along with our marinara sauce. And this, again, is one of those things, because our theme tonight is quarantine concoctions. Why are we making it for making?
Well, if you missed us at the beginning, after toilet paper and flour, the biggest thing that seemed to sell out was rice. And generally speaking, whether it's arborio rice or jasmine rice or Uncle Ben's Insta rice or whatever, most people have some form. I'm not trying not to be snooty about rice. I'm snooty about food. I'm starting to realize that. But I'm starting. You're starting to realize that. He knew that for a long time. But yeah, no matter what kind of rice you have in the house, I don't know. I will be honest, as we both always tell you, we're not professional chefs. From a glutinous and whatever perspective, I'm not sure if wild rice or brown rice would work for this. Sushi rice works really well. You want a sticky rice, basically.
Yeah. Arborio is
I said
both.
arborio first. Sushi rice works really well. We have.
I know I have a standard long grain
white rice
from big bag from supermarket white rice.
From the supermarket, white rice is the brand from the supermarket.
Good job.
Good, thanks. Also, because I would feel remiss as a she-brew. Oh, you're going over there, aren't you?
Crazy about that joke.
Also, I would feel remiss as a she-brew if I didn't talk about this. Ashkenazi Jews, we don't traditionally eat rice for Passover, whereas Sephardic Jews do normally eat rice for Passover. So for my Ashke friends who are feeling iffy about this recipe, just pretend you're Sephardic and it'll be fine.
For some people who don't quite understand all of the Jewish rules, please be
Google.
Gentile. Be Gentile.
Be Gentile.
Cut off my joke.
Not the only thing I'm going to cut off. But yeah.
That's what I call my joke.
You're not the only one, though. So yeah. So if you want to eat rice, feel free to eat rice. We are going to be doing this with breadcrumbs. If you are respecting Passover and you want to do this with matzah meal, you can absolutely do that as well. I will give you the little asterisk of we haven't tried it with matzah meal, but in principle, for the outer crust, which is what we're using the breadcrumb for, it shouldn't make much of a difference. So we're going to start by, I've left my eggs on the counter. I have 3 eggs here. Can I have the green bowl, please?
The green bowl.
I have got 1 egg here and 2 eggs over there. Okay? So we're going to crack this puppy into a bowl. Groovy. We are going to get, can I have the cup
Oh, the cup.
measuring? The cup measuring
The measuring cup, you
No,
mean?
but the 1 cup measuring
The
cup.
cup measuring.
The cup measuring cup.
The cup measuring you'll be doing with the measuring cup?
No, but like the 1 cup measuring cup. So not like the quarter cup, because there's a quarter cup in there. I meant, can I have the,
Oh, you got it.
the cup measuring
You got
cup and a spoon?
You got it.
Can I?
That's good.
I wouldn't mind a spoon. The one thing that we didn't do that
A
maybe
regular spoon?
instead of just a regular old spoon, maybe instead of making fun of your wife, what you could do is grate some Parmesan cheese.
Oh, that's great.
It is great. It would be a wonderful help to me and my trying to get shit done. So, I've got day-old rice over here. We're going to get 2 cups of that. So there's uno cup in there right with the egg. Cool. We're going to get a 2nd cup of rice in there. Now, obviously, if you are, I'm dropping stuff. I'm not a clean cook. I like to get messy.
That's what I'm married.
If you, actually somewhere in the kitchen there's a little sign that says sexy women have dirty kitchens or some shit. So if you want to go to the full extent of making risotto and that's in your skill set or your wheelhouse or whatever, go for it. You absolutely can. But the whole idea of this, I need about a 1/4 cup of that, maybe a little bit more if you want it cheesier.
Cheddar.
So the whole idea behind this and the reason that we're not making risotto right now is because we were supposed to do something that was fairly easy. You know, that'll taste yummy in a pinch. And it's a good way to use up, again, your leftover rice if you have any.
We just happened in our pantry to have some fresh Parmesan. You don't have this, of course. Any grated Parmesan will do. If you don't have that, if you have any kind of cheese, you have anything. What's nice about these kind of things is you can add to it whatever you want and make it your own.
Okay, good. Thank you. Excellent segue, Danny B.
I'm very good at segues. Speaking of which,
if you happen to have, I don't know, a can of mushrooms in your pantry, or dried mushrooms that you want to like reanimate with some boiling water, you can chop that up and throw that in here. If you have prosciutto at home or onion and you want to saute some prosciutto with onion and whatnot, you can add that in here. The sky is really lovely meat on this.
so what are we doing? What are we doing with ours?
We have right now very plain. For the moment, we just have 1 egg in there and 2 cups of rice. I am going to grab the quarter cup measuring cup.
Quarter cup measuring cup.
Not the cup measuring
Not
cup,
the
but
cup
the
measuring
quarter
cup.
cup measuring cup. Give that a little rinse over here. The one other thing I'm going to ask you to grab, my darling, is the other mozzarella.
The other mozzarella.
Other mozzarella. It's kind of like the other sister, but just of mozzarella. So, into this, 2 cups of rice and 1 egg, we're going to throw in a generous quarter cup. So it's like a quarter cup. I'm a Chezzy gal. He's a Chezzy guy. What are you looking for?
The cutting board that was.
So I'm going to put some pepper in this because we'd be lying if we said we didn't try this out earlier. And I found the arancini to be a little bit bland. So again, you are the master of your own destiny when it comes to this. If you want to throw in some other spices, feel free. As per, and I just did the same thing, by the way, a little side note. I've been adding a tiny bit of salt to my tomato sauce. Taste your food, guys. Taste your
Very
food.
important.
If you don't like it, for the tomato sauce, if you find it too acidic, put a tiny bit of sugar in there. You can do that. You can add a little bit more salt. So now's about a good time, if you're cooking along with us, to go grab a clean spoon and careful because it's super hot. Taste. We threw some chili peppers in there. If you want more chili flakes in there, now's a good time for that. If you want to adjust your seasoning at all, now's a good time. We've got it. It's still simmering over here. Looking quite tasty. Yeah. So, I should not have put my rings back on before. I'm going to take them off again. Tonight is really all about getting your hands dirty and the therapy that comes from that. So, in case you're just tuning in, 1 egg, 2 cups of old rice, and a generous quarter of grated Parmesan, salt and pepper, fingers in the bowl. Okay, we're going to mix that up. Mixty. We want to get this all nice, and you might want to fly can this, and you might not. You also might want to just pass your wife some extra rice.
Yes, that's all right.
So, this is pretty wet. I think it's over there on the counter behind me.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
So this is a little bit wet in here. I am going to stick my hands, again, let's get dirty tonight. I'm going to throw some more rice in here. I'm going to stick both hands in and mix that up all tasty like.
For the arancini too, you're not looking to create a dough, but you want a little bit of something sticking together. When you form your arancini balls, pressure will help keep
100%.
some of that together anyways.
But if you're looking at, like, you want to grab the can for a second?
Yeah.
If you're looking at your rice concoction and you're not really sure if it's too wet, that's pretty good there. You see that it's not super liquidy. It's still sticking together.
Oh, I got you upside down.
I've been upside. Help! I'm upside down. So yeah, you see that it's not there's not a lot of liquid in it. It's still sticking together. It's not clumping, like Dan said. It's not a dough necessarily, but you know, it's to use the flavor du jour word, and I can't believe I'm saying this for anyone who knows me. It's moist. It's got
This
some
is a week.
moisture.
This is a week of moistness.
So yeah.
All right, now
So yeah,
you got that away. Do we salt and pepper those?
I salt and peppered that already.
All right.
Could probably have stood to do more. Another note. I lived in a house or have a family of people who I've got heart doctors in my family and had family with heart conditions, so I undersalt a lot, much to the dismay of Dan. But again, you can always add more, especially if I'm the one taking the reins on the cooking. You can probably assume that it's on the lower side of salted. But I'm also a big fan of adding as you go because you can't take it away once it's in there. So if you're not sure, your bowl's right here. If you're not sure, err on the side of caution. And then again, you can always put more in afterwards. So that's that. So next up on the list of to-dos is I have another bowl here avec 2 œufs, 2 eggs. Joy Ryder, if you're watching, I just heard
You might want to
your.
start this and get the oil also boiling.
We could also do that as well. So you can get that going. You want to put some oil in a pot? Okay. But you interrupted my shout out to Joy Ryder. Joy Ryder, if you're watching.
She's not watching.
I know you're not watching, but in case you were, I just got fell in there. I heard your little French egg joke in my head. Is the point of that thing. So, in this bowl, we got us 2 eggs. We got us a fork. You want to use a whisk? Chef Dewey was a fan of the whisk. I am all good with the fork. Want to break up those yolks? And whisk them together. Beat them. So much good aggression release in the kitchen. Really, a lot. Beaucoup. I don't know. Some people like to punch things and whatever. I am all for the stress release that comes from beating an egg or sticking your hands in some smooshy tomatoes. It's good for the spirit. It really is. So, we got egg. Mom, don't be upset if you're watching. We have breadcrumbs. Again, this is a good time where if you're celebrating Passover, you could probably do this with matzo meal. I haven't tried it. The other thing is, too, in an attempt to not add more carb than is necessary, and in my misguided attempt to not use flour, we're not going to coat our arancini in flour before we stick them into, that's a lot of oil. We're not going to coat the rice balls with flour first. We're just going to stick them, we're going to make them, we're going to stick them in the egg, and we're going to stick them in the breadcrumbs. So if you guys are looking for proportions, that's 2 eggs, probably about a cup or so, maybe a little bit less. You can always add more. Again, the thématique du jour, you can always add more. So we take our hands. We wet them a little bit because it will make your life that much easier. Want to go into the little rice bowl over here. In this little bowl that Dan prepared for me is some chopped up mozzarella. So I'm going to make a little patty situation and get that all compressed.
Let me get that in there.
Okay.
I'm coming.
So we got that. It's smooshing together a little bit. We're going to put that little piece of cheese in there. That piece of cheese is a little bit big. And we're going to continue to form. Anybody who's a professional chef, leave me alone. My technique is not great, but it's all right. So we're going to make a little ball situation. I'm not going to be afraid to apply pressure to that. Smoosh it up. Smoosh it. So much smooshing tonight. Okay? Look at that pretty ball. There we go. So we got that. There's one over there. Okay? In between, what you guys want to be doing, sorry, some of these are just too big. I'm all for the cheese, but you want to be able to get them in there. In between, you want to rinse your hands as well and get the old sticky rice off the hands so we can put new sticky rice in the hands. So again, we're going to smoosh that together. We're going to take that little piece of cheese and hide it in there. And we're going to grab a little bit more rice and smoosh, smoosh, smoosh. I'm getting super paranoid about my hands all of a sudden. All right. I just got two of these
You want
guys.
to do that while you talk over there for people?
Pardon me?
You want to do
No,
that
you can
for-
talk to people. I'm very happy making rice balls. So.
All right. Hi, everybody. So we're back here. Let's just check out some of other people's answers. Anybody else had something to say? Jennifer Mann said she doesn't miss wearing a bra. I do. I miss a lot. But then, I missed it before, too. Misty Portugal can't wait till our next drink. Christina Moschini says they can force me to be back to work, but they can't force me back to pants. It's very true, but technically they can. It's one of the things that they can force you is back to pants. Zoe Deluxe has made a point of saying that matzo does work great for this cause because it's dry. She also says, more importantly than that, we're looking good.
Well, thank you.
Yes, and as Joseph pointed out, I did have problems opening the container of oil. It did not want to work. I just thought while we're doing this, hey, we're gonna check back in with Duyan and see if his.
Does he know that?
I know. I'm telling him right now.
We love the element
So
of
let's
surprise.
see if we can see if Chef Duyan's pudding is ready to go. Hey, Chef Duyan. They're not even looking.
And soup chef.
He's ready, and we're good. We're going, ladies and gentlemen. Before anything, we're back. Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. It's Chef Duyan. Hey, Chef Duyan.
Hey, Chef Duyan.
So how's your pudding at home?
Good. How are you doing?
That pudding is pretty good. As we can see now,
Excellent.
after
So
35 minutes,
we're making arancini.
Yeah, no, real
Can you
texture.
please just remind everybody what gourmet dish you felt like making this evening? Jello pudding, everybody.
Is it tasty?
Looks good. Oh, we saw the hand of
I hope the results
Ivory
are
there.
delicious at home.
She's hiding.
Diane. How is your Jello pudding?
It's delicious. And
Well,
you see
Chef
it?
Diane, thank you very much for coming on the show this week. We can't wait to see what other delicious gourmet treats you have for us in the future.
Thank you, Chef Duyan.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Chef Diane.
Goodbye, people.
Well, that was Chef Duyan. For those of you who are making the pudding at home, please refer you back to your smash. Right now, also, if you can tell, what we're doing in here is we're going to deep fry these. We have about 2.5 to 3 inches of oil. These aren't huge, so we're heating up right now. One of the things I love about the induction cookers is you can actually set the temperature of the burner. So let's bring the oil up to speed. While that happens, we're making more of these.
I'm making balls.
We're also going to try a different option if we have time, assuming we have some time.
I got time.
We have, one of the things we have in our house is the air fryer.
I love the air fryer.
If you're not familiar with the air fryer, it's basically the product that basically is a convection cooker in such a small form that
it gives this almost similar feel to frying.
It fries shit without oil.
Yes, but I wouldn't say it's exactly like frying, but it's pretty damn close.
The French fries
French
are
fries
amazing.
are really good. Chicken wings
are amazing.
Fantastic.
Hey, if you're at all concerned, like if you're like me and you love to eat super fat food but don't want to eat all the super fat, the air fryer is
I will say one of the things I discovered with the air fryer, if you have one and you haven't done this, it makes the best grilled cheese sandwich.
Makes a mean grilled cheese and a mean sausage.
And a great sausage, but I still think the grilled cheese sandwich where you just put, a lot of times with grilled cheese when you're using a pan, you're flipping it, you're losing that pressure is great. The air fryer keeps it light and fluffy and gooey and it's incredible. So we're going to put a couple in there and see what the difference is between the full oil, and in here we've got canola oil. So it's a high smoke point. We're waiting until it comes up to about 330, 340 is what we're looking at here.
Look at my beautiful balls.
Well, you can't see it because the beautiful thing.
I know.
So I'll bring the balls up. I'm more familiar with ball handling in our family.
Are you?
So here we have, these are the arancini free
Dipping and dopping.
coating and frying. The recipe that we have, again, that was the two cups of rice?
It's about 2 cups of rice.
So you're going to get 8 to 10, depends on the size you want.
We also had big cheese. Like
we
we
had
had
big
our
cheese.
cheese was cut large.
I like to say that I'm the big cheese, but I'm not.
Also, you might want to check in with your sauce if you're making sauce.
Check in with your sauce. Let me bring the fly cam in and be like a fly girl over here. I hit the wrong button there. Oh, coming over. And here we come. Fly cam. There we are.
Where are the chilies?
Oh, no, hit the wrong button. Fly cam. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our sauce and how it's going.
We're going to add a little bit more salt. And again, I find this is a little bit acidic tonight. Sometimes it's not as acidic. I'm going to add a little pinch of sugar. I got some over there. It's fine. And some more chilies because I want it spicier. The kind where.
We are.
Yeah.
So that is the sauce, the marinara that's going. We're gonna go back to here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much once again. Before we go, we're just gonna put up. I have a. Last week we asked the question of what kind of theme you guys want to see, because last week we of course did our movie night theme. We had a couple of things for movie night. This week is our quarantine concoctions theme.
Let me get some of those ones.
So what we want to do is we want to ask you what is our next week's theme. And I got a few different options for you in here. If you just 1 second while I take this poll and publish it to the site. As you can see, our theme that we're talking about this for next week, we're a few options. We're going to do musical munchies, which are, of course, little munchy foods that have to do with some of the great musicals of the world. Comfort food for the soul. I think all comfort food is food for the soul. But, if you want something that's more themed around the concept of comfort food, we'll both wear sweaters.
You can both wear a sweater. You can wear a sweater too.
I don't know if I cook with sweaters. We'll figure something out. I'm going to wear a short sleeve sweater.
Cooking in lab coats and
our delicious
t-shirts.
Breakfast bonanza, which is a theme based around breakfast. Probably my favorite meal of the day.
Oh, it's not themed around bonanza?
No, it isn't. If you want to cook a little Joe, you mean. And our final one, sweets for the sweet, something that's really concentrating more on the sweet tooth, somebody who likes the dessertier elements of a desserty sweet snack to go along with your snack.
With your existential.
So, musical munchies, comfort food for the soul, breakfast bonanza, sweet for the sweet. Take a look. Tell us what you like.
All right, here we go.
We'll see. We'll see what it happens.
Okay.
It's coming up there.
That's all right. I'm gonna start doing some of this. Can you pass me a small plate?
A small plate.
Ladies and jelly spoons. When you are doing, and again, we are not coating these in flour. If you guys have decided to put, for example, grated cheese in this, or you're making them a little bit wetter, you might want to coat them in flour once. The egg is going to adhere pretty well to these. You want to make sure these are pretty. I mean, I'm not gonna like
bring them into here so they can.
I'm not gonna like super smoosh them, but they're solid. They're not like I don't worry that I'm gonna put it in my hand and it's just gonna fall apart. So don't be afraid to get in there and like compact your balls. Okay. So we've got one hand for wet and one hand for dry. We're gonna stick the ball in the egg. Oh look, I'm swimming in the egg. It just is so much fun. Now we're gonna drain that a little bit into the bowl of breadcrumbs, and with the dry hand, we're gonna dry breadcrumb that right up. We're gonna get that nice and coated. Just give it a little toss. Make sure it's nice and coated. Okay? Again, if you want to use matzo meal, great. Panko may or may not work. I'm assuming it would work. So there you go. Oh, I got to put it on the table. Yes. Okay. So again, ooh look, I'm swimming in the egg. Great. Give that a little shake-ski. We're going to get that off there. We're going to stick that in the breadcrumbs and give it a little roll around. And there, you want it well coated.
Just out of the way.
That's fine. Nobody needs to see my fancy wrist action. Okay. And that's nice and coated there. We're going to grab another one. Give her a little dipsy. There you go. You just want to make sure the surface is coated. We don't want to like, I don't know. We're not looking for like mega egg coverage. We're just looking for it to be coated on the outside so that the breadcrumbs stick, basically. Or the matzo meal. Sorry, Ma. I am the worst Jew. I only know when holidays are happening, normally the day before. So we're just going to keep doing this scenario here where we do, I could probably, here, watch me go two-handed. I'm going to do one hand.
That's one thing I've always said about you. Quite a ball handler.
I can handle two balls at one time. So in the interest of time, we're going to do this. Whoop, this guy goes over here. This guy goes over here.
No, you did the wrong hand. The end of the world!
I did the wrong hand and I swore in Greek. This is quite, look at me.
Greek algorithm!
Greek algorithm.
Which is weird because algorithm's a Greek word.
Exactly. Is there a different word for algorithm in Greek? Sorry. I thought I was being so like suave over here. It was too many balls. I got too excited. Too many balls. Too many balls.
Too many balls.
Too many
balls.
balls
On the dance floor.
Too many balls on the dance floor.
You need more breadcrumbs?
I might need a little smoosh more breadcrumbs over here.
Get this plastic.
Although maybe not. You know what? Maybe not. Maybe I can make good with. I don't like to waste. So, well, that's that. I think realistically, we probably could have gotten away with one egg here, but Murphy's Law kind of indicates that had we had one egg, we would have needed one more egg. So, that's that. So here we go. It's our last one. I know you're sad. It's so much fun. It's very zen. I really do find cooking chills me out so much. So get rid of that. Stick that guy in there. Whoop, whoop, whoop. This is more of a roll than a toss that I was doing before because we are getting to the bottom of our breadcrumbs here. And as they say in French, le voila. They're not uniform in size, but sisters, not twins, right? So yeah. Also, just as a side note, I'm going to close the water. As much as this is going to be annoying for you guys because we're live, I'm going to say rinse your egg dish right away. Sorry, Dan. And I'm going to get rid of this right away because egg dries, for those of you who've never noticed, and it becomes a huge extra pain in the ass. So as much as people might think that you're cooking and cleaning at the same time, I say screw that. because they're not going to be around later when you try to pick egg stuff off of something. So I think if your friends don't understand that you need to do a little like wipe ski, they are not your friends. So in that vein right here, we're just going to get rid of any of the wet egg that's anywhere. So that's good. We're going to move that over there closer.
All right, we have our oil heating up. I'm trying to get that up to about 325. I like that for deep frying. I find a little higher, and it just browns a little too fast, especially with these things.
Plus, you have cheese in there, right? So you guys want to make sure
the
the cheese is
melts.
melting.
So you want this. You want it hot enough to cook it, but you and cover them. But you also want to make sure that it's low enough that you're going to be able to leave it in there a while. Also, one of the big things, especially when you're deep frying, is you want to be able to. You don't want to crowd. Don't overcrowd things. Don't get things too close together, because the more you put in, the temperature is dropping in the oil. The faster the oil temperature
You're just
drops.
going to end up with soggy shit. And
Soggy shit is not where you want to go. We have this pretty close to what we like. I am going to now take that out of there, and I am going to put one in. I find deep frying is a little like
I'm just going to get...
pancakes. The first one never works, but I'm just going to put one in there, see how it goes.
But if you have a mistake, you have a yummy mistake.
It
So
is
I'm just
also-
going to go get some paper towels.
Yeah, we'll get some paper towels. When you're doing it this way, you want to have some paper towel on the side. Let it go. See what happens. I find these need probably about 3 to 4 minutes, maybe. We'll see what it is. Right now, what we're looking for is a nice golden brown color. But at the same time, we want to make sure that the cheese, the mozzarella, the little cube of mozzarella, is nice and melted in there. So we're going to put that in there for a while. There is no more distinct an odor than deep frying.
Actually, I'm going to open the window just so we
Yeah.
don't accidentally set off the alarm.
So we can see it is looking a little good. It's looking nice in there. I think we have something that's happening. Let me give it a little bit longer. There are a variety of ways. One of the things, we are deep frying these, which is the traditional way of doing the iron sheeting. We're going to also try them in here. Do you want to actually get that up to
200?
200? Yeah. There is no reason why you can't bake these. You're not going to get the same texture, but if you're looking for a lower fat alternative, baking, I love baked things that technically should be fried. I love.
Here, I'm gonna go over here. I'm going to agree / disagree with that. I think certain things, like we've tried spring rolls with the air fryer. The thing that you need to keep in mind with the air fryer, because we're not talking about an active fry.
Okay.
We're not talking about something where you put oil in necessarily. This is just, like Dan was explaining, really intense convection oven basically, is that it cooks it at such a high temperature that it gives you ça donne l'impression que c'est frit, but it's not fried. So I think realistically, like,
no. Sorry, let's go take this out. I'm taking this out now. It looks a nice color. For those of you that can't see, I think it's a nice color in there. We're going to try a couple more.
I was giving one note about the air fryer though.
But let me just finish because we want to get this in. We're going to try and get. Now I forgot what my point was. I had a whole point. Now it's gone. So we're going to try these. Try putting a couple of these in. That was it. One of the things with this looks big. Don't overcrowd. I would say no more than maybe 3, 4 if you really have to. I'm keeping it to like 2. I don't want this to get too hot. Go back. Sorry.
Anyway, what I was explaining about the air fryer is what you lose a little bit of. And I haven't found this with French fries. And trust me, I love me some French fries. And I haven't found it with chicken wings, but I found it with other things. Like we tried to make spring rolls. You are, if you're going to put this kind of thing or anything that's dry into the air fryer, you're going to want to give it a tiny bit of oil, a tiny little bit. Like I don't even put oil on my chicken wings because there's so much fat in the chicken skin. But when we did these, and we're going to do a few in the air fryer with you guys, we spray them with a little bit of olive oil just so that you do get that crispier outside, because it's the one thing that frying will always give you more than the air fryer, which is that crispy fried, delicious, simple texture.
We have a request. We want to see the bubbling.
Is it an ASMR thing, or is
It is.
it?
It is. So we have something. We have these. We have 2 balls in here. They are bubbling away. Sorry. There we are.
And again, the
You don't want to. This is going to sound terrible, and I genuinely mean this. You don't want to play with your balls too much. You want to let them sit. Yes, they'll fall apart. So let them sit. What you're watching for is color. You want to be able to let them sit in there for a while, but you want and to get some nice color on the outside, but you also want them to cook that cheese
but
the middle.
That's the most. I think that's so important. I don't know if you're going to switch back to the main cam or where we're at, but like we were saying before, we did a test run on these. The thing I found about the air fryer, if it's an option for you, if not, don't worry about it. Everybody got oil. Everybody got a pan. It's fine. But the thing about the air fryer I found was that
Okay. Go ahead.
while they might not have been as crispy on the outside, they were still crispy, but the cheese was melted on the inside. Versus the first time we did this, we had the oil up too high, so they browned really, really quickly. Dan's just spraying them with a tiny bit of spray olive oil. This comes in coconut oil. You can get this. I love this stuff so much. I don't know. I grew up in a pan house. Does anyone remember pan?
Oh, I
spray?
hated that.
I hate that shit. So this is like
spray.
But yeah, in terms of using the oil, I think these might be oilier than the ones that we made earlier today, but the cheese will be melted. There is nothing more difficult than chopping into your arancini and there's just a fully formed cheese ball in there that hasn't cooked. You don't want that. Mm-hmm.
All right, so these. Now in the air fryer, I like to do them for 8 to 9 minutes at the start. Once that beeps, I flip them. I do them for about anywhere from another 4 to 6 minutes total, depending on the size.
I'm just gonna keep eating the extra cheese. Always cut extra cheese when you're cooking.
While that's happening, I'm going to cook 2
More
more.
of these. I'm gonna come over here.
No.
Yes, the balls do have to be socially distant.
You don't want your balls too close.
You want this?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I do want this. I don't want those around there. Okay. Our arancini is frying.
Arancini.
We have some in the air. We have some in the air fryer. Those are doing their magic. We
sauce
are
is
at
sauce?
1:45. The sauce is sauce, and we could probably even we have 3 here that we could probably even do a shot test with. How's that sauce? Your sauce
Very
is good?
tomatoey. I could have salted it more, but I could always salt it more. I'm gonna give it a last little shot.
Go for it. So, and again, that is, you have these leftover rice, an egg, some kind of mixture filling. Always want to salt and pepper, salt in your stuff. But, you want to add cheese to it. If you are vegan, you would rather go mushroom and veg. You can do all
the
of
egg
these
might be
things.
hard for the vegans.
Yeah, but you can get one of those non-animal eggs.
Almond eggs.
Robot eggs.
Almond eggs.
Robot egg. Why do vegans not eat robots?
Why do robots not eat
They
vegans?
do. That's the secret. Anyways, if you want to, sorry, my balls are crowding. If you want to, put whatever you want in these, they're great. It's a very simple thing. If you want to make them from scratch, if you want to get the arboretum, fantastic. But this has a great little how do I make something quick from some very basic, simple leftovers. We have a great thing. I'm going to get a plate.
I have a plate here.
Oh, you have a plate there?
Yeah.
And you have...
I have tomato sauce.
okay, but I wanted to see if we can get some gooiness here. Where's our knife? I'm standing in front of this place, so it's weird if you ended that. All right, so we have our bowl. Let's see if we can get some. Really weird. So see if we can get some.
It's not
gooiness.
as gooey as I would like.
All right, so
I'm
let's.
going to be honest with you guys.
Let's see what we got. How about? Yeah, these are. Oh, this one's getting nice in there, but it's nice.
So
we'll leave these in for a little bit longer then.
These are hot.
These are hot. And the cheese is gooey. It's not quite as drippy as I like it.
But flavor-wise, those are pretty tasty.
That's yum. That sauce with this, the coating is nice. It's light. You want to do a little bit more. Oh yeah, I really like that.
And this is, we're doing this 5 set, but this is a meal. This is a legitimate meal. The other bonus with this is that if you have leftover rice and you decide to make a pasta sauce, that you use up your rice and the leftovers. I don't even know whose hands these are anymore. You have no idea how upset I am about my nails. But yeah, so once you've done this, if you don't use all your tomato sauce, you've made a fresh sauce. So now you have sauce left over. So it kind of perpetuates the whole just making stuff to always have a little bit more stuff.
They're really delicious.
Right,
they're really good. Let's see how these ones are doing. Oh, these are. See, this I think the oil. It's one of those things I think about this machine. I love.
Did I have the timer here?
No, I haven't started the timer. Wow,
Hold on, I'm going to take a look at these.
I find these induction timers cookers are really nice for certain things. It's maybe not quite as hot as I would like it, but it's doing not a bad job. I just think it needs to go a little longer. I'm just going to blast it for a little bit. But the flavor on those is really good.
Flavor is great. The cheese, I'm not going to lie, and for the 3rd time in this episode, we are not professional chefs.
Obviously, we didn't even turn the timer on yet again for this thing.
Oh, I thought I did. But at the end of the day, the flavor is delicious. So the cheese is not as melty as we wanted, and we'll leave these ones in a little bit longer. As I was explaining last week, I don't know why. If I make a mistake in my regular life, I get real upset. If I make a mistake in the kitchen, for whatever reason, for me, it's just 90% of the time it's a yummy mistake, right? Like, it's not awful.
Yeah, the worst thing that you...
And you'll just learn that next time maybe you fry them at a lower temperature for a longer time so you get the cheese to melt more. You know, it's all... It's fine.
And with deep frying, you always want to play around with it. What's nice, and again, one of the things... I know when you watch, I put a lot of oil in there, and that is true. It does use a lot of oil, but I also, when you're deep frying, I don't know if anybody really said, you don't necessarily need to throw that. You should never throw that oil.
Yeah, don't throw your oil away, guys.
But store it again, and you can use it next time.
Drain it, like
strain it. I strain it out.
You want to get all the little ball bits out, right? You don't want to be throwing bits of balls sitting down there, but...
While we are doing this, our poll is up. Just so you guys can see, right now it looks like the majority of people want to see comfort food for the soul for next week. People need comfort. I totally get that. But if you want to see one of the other things, we're going to give you 10 more minutes, or we'll say 5 more minutes to vote, and then we'll show you what is going to be the winner.
Also, guys, we're going to get our Instagram going this week, so if you happen to be cooking at home with us and you have pictures of the food that you've made or the cocktails you've made,
please
or
share it.
Funny pictures of you after you've drank all the cocktails you've made, we are down to clown.
What about that? I think those are looking pretty good.
Those are looking pretty good.
I'm
And
already
again,
got. I don't want these to get too much darker, so we're gonna take these out. Hopefully, this is what I want. There we go. And we're gonna turn.
and just so there's no mistake, the inside of these balls are filled with cheese. There is no bad warm cheese. It's just, you know,
You're gonna get
it's
cheese
just a question of
that's
how
gooey.
much like stretch you want, right?
Yeah.
I judge a
These
lot of
will have stretch.
those will have stretch, and hopefully they'll be ready. And
Oh, those will be ready.
here, I'm going to very, very carefully give you these.
Okay.
I am going to very carefully
I
move
can
this
move that.
very hot oil over here. But yeah, in case anyone missed that, strain out your oil and
Yeah.
keep it.
Here, I'm gonna put this actually on this
Um,
right over here, so it's now no longer.
Also, like
Really
I made
shot.
chicken soup with matzo balls last night, despite the fact that I've already broken Passover. But schmaltz, your chicken fat, that can be stored. Your bacon fat, if you guys are making bacon, put
Bacon
it
back to be stored.
put it in a mason jar. Put it in a Tupperware. It adds
Save
great flavor to when you're
Yeah.
cooking. If you're a vegan or a vegetarian or just really, really skinny, I'm sorry, but this stuff is tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Animal fat makes things taste good. Fight me. And you can fight me because I'll probably have more energy because I eat animals. But yeah.
Let's just quickly go back to the board here to see what people are saying. Hey, everybody. Everybody is. Oh, we still have a few people talking, watching this through this. Joseph Schmula thought the air fryer fried air. No, no, it
then
doesn't.
that makes me concerned for the job that you do.
Yannick DeHaze can't wait for the next recipe with Chef Doyen. You know, Yannick, we're in the same boat. We're sure that whatever he may have dropped the ball on it this week, next week it's going to be something that'll be not only a feast for your stomach, but a feast for the eyes.
I think that was the ball. I
That's
don't think
probably
it was
don't-
dropped. I don't think it was.
Don't ruin the bit.
Oh,
So that we have that. While we're doing that, let's quickly check out our poll. Has anything changed? Well, breakfast has come up. That's good. I love a good breakfast.
do you guys like breakfast for like dinner or other meals?
Oh,
I
yeah.
funny.
Oh, yeah.
I
Eggs.
know
I
a lot
love
of people
eggs.
love eggs for dinner. I was
I love
like,
pancakes for dinner too.
see, my mom and my dad, especially when I got older, they used to do like Sunday night would be omelet night, and they'd be like, "We know you don't like this," and I never did. I really never did. Breakfast to me, I can eat it till like 2, 3 in the afternoon. But after, let's say, 6 or 8 o'clock at night, I don't want it again until maybe 4 in the morning. I don't know.
Yep. Let's just head back to. All right. Let's see if one of these ones here, these new ones we did let them in sit a little longer. I can't remember which ones they are, so let's assume it's one of these.
Okay, it's got a little bit more.
That's it, though. Oh yeah,
Oh.
there we go.
Oh, we missed it.
There we
didn't
go.
We didn't have a cheese
I-
can, but here.
Going to cheese
Yep,
cam. Cheese
Stretch cam.
cam. There we have. Oh, look at that delicious cheese. And we're going to put that into some of the sauce.
I was gonna put you some sauce.
Do this now.
Oh. Oh, we're hot. We're hot. Hot. Oh! Really hot. Let me move over here.
Why don't know.
Oh, that was very hot.
It's delicious.
But it was amazing. That was the right temperature, the right length. You get some nice pull on that cheese. That is perfect. Oh, the other ones are done too.
Oh, check it out. Look at this. Well, way to go timing.
Now I found with these, you're not going to get quite the same color. The texture is also, I
I
find,
think
not.
we should quarantine them from the other ones.
So I think they're also very clearly which ones are which.
We can do a little
We'll do
comparison
a
here.
little camera here. I'm going to give you a little camera action so you can see them. You can see them.
Got really nice Vanna White hands, guys. Up until
So there is.
That's
Okay, let me go back. These are the fried balls, and then these two right here are the air fryer
Pardon
balls.
my fingers for a second. We're just going to give this a quick round and around we go. It's evenly cooked. It's just, and it's not far off. Realistically,
Yeah.
when
This
you
is
think
the better
about,
one there. That looks two there.
but it's not hugely far now. Here, the moment of truth. I'm going to go in here. We're going to cut that open. Oh, look at that.
And I find this is the whole thing, because the air fryer, you're cooking it a little longer. You really get it that easy, that cheese. So there we go.
Ches porn.
Ches porn. Speaking of ches porn, next week's theme.
This ches porn?
Oh, we have a tie.
No way.
We genuinely have a tie, ladies and gentlemen.
Somebody who
while we
hasn't
have
voted, vote.
3 more minutes, if you haven't voted, quickly vote. Let's see if we get a breakdown of the of what we. If anybody breaks the tie, I'm going to give you a couple more minutes. That is our yeah. That was our drink, our food for this week. The arancini with homemade marinara, and the gin and basil smash, or as you call it, the just glass of wine.
It's the end of the show. I didn't want to make you. We have dishes in the sink. I didn't want to make you do anything. But yeah.
Good combination.
Also, very few people would have noticed if you hadn't pointed it out.
Well,
I drink most.
That's really good. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to say, and I'm publishing it right now, I'm showing the results. We have a tie.
Okay, well, we can do one week and one another week.
Yeah, so right now, the tie should be, the tie is, as you can see, half want comfort, 5 people want comfort food for the soul, 5 people want breakfast bonanza. There we are. 36% want the comfort food for the soul, 36% want breakfast bonanza. The other 2 having an equal amount of votes. If we have the option, we can go one of either of those.
Well, why don't we say next week we'll do
Next week we're closing these results, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to decide from one of those 2. You will get one of those 2.
yeah, I think maybe next week we should go. I mean, everyone's looking for a little comfort right now. Why don't we do comfort food for the soul
Comfort
next
food
week?
for the
And we can put breakfast. So next Thursday is April 14th? No, 15th?
Sure.
22nd? Who freaking knows?
There's no more calendars. Calendars don't exist, believe us.
They went out with the Mayans.
Stephen Colbert put it, his calendar app has just changed to the shrug emoji.
Yes. But yes, next Thursday, I know what day it is. Next Thursday we will do comfort food for the soul, and then the following Thursday we'll do breakfast for dinner.
Well, I think we'll do a poll.
Oh, okay.
We'll do it. But you'll always get breakfast. Don't worry, we'll find breakfast.
It's his favorite food.
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, gin basil smash, arancini with homemade marinara.
Thank you so much for joining us. We love doing this. We love you guys. If you want to send us pictures, please feel free. Invite your friends. If you want to chat with us or if you have questions about anything, please get in touch. I mean, we got time.
Also, let us know if this medium is the best place. We're toying with going to maybe YouTube to do this now.
Or all of the mediums.
The lady who doesn't do the check doesn't get to decide. But no, what medium you like the most? YouTube, Facebook. I'm not a big fan, but if people really, really want us to do Instagram Live, I don't think it's a good place. But let us know what you think. If you think something else is different, let us know. We'll do it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Divine Danny D.
One moment, please.
I'm sorry.
Happy Passover.
Happy
Happy
Passover.
Easter. Chag Sameach. Be good. God's not watching anyway.
For all,
I'm Elle
for
Diabloe.
all the atheists out there, I'm Divine Danny D. And
Happy Thursday.
Happy nothing. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you all next week.
Stay safe. Stay inside.
Have a drink.
Or
Have a nosh.
7.
We'll see you next week.
That was great. Good
Thanks, man.
job.
No, wait.